it's hard to just kind of write this off as fluky stuff. Like the 2019 season, you could say, all right, Tua got injured, like it wasn't going to work out the year. The year before, Tua has the injury. They don't beat Clemson. Like, there's coaches leaving. Like, there's always been kind of that excuse, if you will, where you can kind of write things off. But there's too many instances now of just things being either you have close games, close wins, like the Texas game, the A&M game. There's some games last year, the Arkansas, Tennessee games last year in particular, that were just close, and they look like yours two pretty evenly matched teams, or you have losses. And now you're kind of going around the ring a little bit with A&M beating them, Georgia beating them, Tennessee beating them, LSU beating them, Ole Miss has their shot this weekend. It's not just one team like Clemson was for a few years there that's beating up on them, or at least beating them. This is more of a widespread thing. So no, I don't think it's an aberration. I do think it's maybe a case of recruiting not maybe dropping off, but also maybe not just panning out. Like, you look, offensive line's been part of their issue, and you have a 5-star like Tommy Brockemeyer who hasn't played a snap in 2 seasons. I mean, that's an issue. And that's just kind of a microcosm, I think, of some of the larger issues. Wide receivers obviously been an issue with recruiting as well. So recruiting's part of it. Coaching, I think, fans probably overrate the play calling coordinator aspect, from my opinion, just from, kind of watching from afar for several years and now covering it. I think coordinators sometimes get too much heat. But that could be part of it. There might be changes after the year too. We'll have to see what happens there. I don't think there's anything decided yet, but it's certainly a possibility. And it kind of leads it to the larger question of, is the dynasty over? There's all this talk about that. Look, I think it kind of depends on how you define dynasty. I mean, I was in New England when the Patriots were considered a dynasty, but they didn't win a championship for 10 years in the middle of that. So as a dynasty, is that winning championships or is that competing for championships? I still think this Alabama team is going to compete for championships every year. But when you go from winning 5 out of 9, which they did, to now winning 1 out of 5, that's a pretty significant change.